Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Reactor, and this is Quinn. And today's article comes from Forbes.com, and it says, "The Fallout 76 beta makes me sad." So this is about the new game Fallout 76 is coming out, and this guy is real sad about it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people might be.
Why?
Because I think some people were expecting like full online gameplay, but it's not fully
Oh, it's not?
capable of doing that.
Oh, so it's just another Fallout game.
No, it's going to be cool because your friends can actually help you in the game, from what it sounds like.
But that doesn't sound very amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And there's a picture of a helmet. I just wrapped up almost four full hours with the Fallout 76 beta live for only a short while yesterday for an Xbox One stress test. Bethesda very much emphasized how many things would inevitably be wrong with the beta, standard for a true early test, but still somewhat worrying with official release just 3 weeks away. I heard the beta was coming out in like 5 days at the end of the month or something. I don't know.
Right.
I'm happy to report that on the technical side, it actually wasn't a disaster. Sure, there were a good amount of frame rate drops pretty much everywhere, and my character kept sleeping 2 feet in the air and getting up speared through the middle of the mattress. But other than that, nothing game-breaking, and the servers only booted me out once ever. However, this beta is also a chance for me to try out a game that conceptually, to me, has always sounded like a terrible idea. When people previously suggested they wanted multiplayer in Fallout, the idea was pretty much Fallout 3 or 4 with co-op, not this multiplayer PvP survival idea that seems to be what Fallout 76 is. No, yes, they're saying that it is PvP.
Right. A bunch of players running around, killing each other, fighting over the scraps.
Resources, yeah. And yet my experience with the multiplayer aspect of Fallout 76 was not what I thought it would be. So, okay, maybe it's not. At first I was getting annoyed like I figured I would. 12 seconds into the game, I ran into another vault dweller named Turd Ferguson, which was so immersion breaking I had to burst out laughing. Immersion breaking? Turd followed me through the tutorial and annoyingly kept using the workbenches I was trying to use. Is the whole game going to be like this? I thought, wishing I was a high enough level to activate PvP and bash Turd's skull in with a wrench. He's mad that he has to share.
Really violent.
With other video games.
Yeah, Jesus.
This guy does not like sharing.
No.
He wants to smash people's skulls open if he has to.
Yeah.
No, it turns out the game is not like that. Once I cycled through the first few initial quests, I simply never saw anyone again. Probably 3 or 4 hours of the beta was completely devoid of other players. I hit level 5 and got the opportunity to PvP, but I didn't, and no one else did either. Judging by the fact that no one got themselves a wanted bounty on my server, you can see where other people are on the map if you really want to find them. But I tried to just play Fallout 76 like it was a Fallout game. So this guy was all bent out of shape because he had to share his workbench in the tutorial, and then he's all bent out of shape and sad that nobody's there to play with him at the end.
Yeah.
I miss him. I miss Turd Ferguson.
I don't really get how they would do a multiplayer with that game. It doesn't really make sense to me. I have played it, and it seems like the kind of game where you're already collecting limited resources, so sharing with a bunch of people, even just your own friends in your party, seems like it would be a little bit like it wouldn't work out because you just wouldn't get enough things, because you need all these things in this game to make new. You have to pick up items so that you can make items.
If you've never played World of Warcraft, right?
A little bit, but not much.
The resources are all unique to the player. If there's a
right, and that's not how Fallout has been.
Well, I mean, I guess they're not completely. That's not true. Killing the mobs, only the player who kills them can get the rewards.
Yeah, maybe there's something.
But when it
like
comes
that.
to like quests and treasure or something, you both see it, but only you each take your own of the same chest.
Right.
That's usually how it works. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Right.
But while you can do a certain extent, because the multiplayer aspect of the game exists, that has come with certain trade-offs. Some of these I don't find to be a huge deal. Like you can't sleep to insta-heal and skip time anymore. You literally have to lie in bed for a spell until your health fills up. It doesn't take that long. It's fine. Everything else that's been given up, however, the worst is easily the lack of VATS. I say lack because the new system may as well not exist at all, but perhaps the gutting of VATS is a better phrase. As shown in certain previews, because the game is happening on a live server with other players, you cannot slow down time for VATS anymore for obvious reasons. But rather than scrapping the system entirely, it exists in this bizarre state where the percentage pop-up in real time, and you simply pull the trigger and your bullets will magically fly toward your target, even if you're not aiming at them directly. Not only does this look incredibly goofy in practice, but it's not even effective. Even after investing some perception points into upgrades, the percentages change too fast in real time to be useful, and unless they are literally the world's worst shooter player, you are probably better off just trying to manually hit the shots yourself. Okay? So yeah, VATS sucks. That's obvious. You're not going to have VATS.
Right.
That's like not something really to complain about.
It would be really unfair to have people like slowing
Yeah.
time down and shooting with it anyway.
And how
so
would
I
it work?
get it.
Yeah, how would you work that? But that means that you have to rely on what is without question one of the clunkiest shooting systems on the market. The reason Fallout's bad combat was acceptable in past games was that it was bolstered by the VAT system, but changing it so you have to pretty much rely only on live fire feels awful. It's passable, I suppose, but compare it to literally any other first or third person shooter on the market and it's not even close. So yeah, this guy's just bitching about VATS being gone, which was an obvious thing if they said multiplayer. I don't know. Which is something I didn't even consider until the beta went live tonight. If reach certain areas or complete certain objectives, you will get checkpointed, but you can no longer save exactly where you want, when you want, and dying will not return you to your last save, but instead some arbitrary checkpoint, and you'll have to trek back and get your dropped loot, not all your gear, just some of it, and I'm not sure how it's decided what goes in your death bag. It might just be your junk. A Fallout game without quick save feels about as good as a Fallout games without VATS. Yeah, well, it's a multiplayer game. Of course you can't quick save. It should always be saving, actually. I know that's how MMOs usually work. Finally, however, what we've given up the most for multiplayer here is life. While Fallout's worlds have always been desolate, Fallout 76 Appalachia is on another level with the total removal of all speaking non-enemy NPCs outside of robots. While this does feel like a Fallout game in many ways, especially many of the missions, there's this constant void when you're constantly receiving all your instructions through holotapes and computer screens. Not that Fallout games have generally had earth-shattering good stories, but with no one talking to you directly and your character never speaking, the entire storyline of Fallout 76 feels like an empty shell. A chalk around where a story should be. A chalk?
Oh, he means like a chalk outline. Like it's not really getting to the...
Oh, yeah. I guess that the other players are supposed to make the world feel more alive, but A, again, this map is so sprawling you can easily not see anyone else forever, and B, they still don't communicate with you like NPCs would. And Lord knows I don't want to know what most randoms would say to me over open voice chat anyway. So, yeah, I don't know. I said in my title that Fallout 76 makes me sad, and that's true. It's a painful experience because I really enjoy the Fallout series, and this badly makes me want to play a real Fallout game, not whatever this is. This doesn't feel like an unfinished game per se. It's plenty big and there's a lot to do, but it feels hollow, like an experiment no one was asking for, removing core components of the game, VATS, saving NPCs, for the sake of something that does not seem like it was worth the trade, multiplayer PvE, PvP. Why have we come to this point where a game that's been ultra successful in the single-player genre feels the need to shift it dramatically to multiplayer? Is this the era of GTA Online at work? Whatever the case, I don't like it, and I wish this game was able to get back what it's clearly lost in its exchange. So, well, what I'm thinking is, the reason for this multiplayer game, the reason they're creating it is because they made Fallout Vault, the mobile game, and they made more money than they've ever made from any game because you can pay to win.
Right. Is that right?
They do microtransactions, and they're making a lot of money from multiplayer. And just like GTA 5, how GTA 5 is making more money than they've ever made because of the online. You know,
Right.
that's why these companies are getting in here. You know?
Right.
It's because there's no money in making single-player games anymore. Or, I mean, there is, but 100 times more money is made from multiplayer now. Granted, these are just my impressions over the course of a few hours, but I know that the things I dislike about the game are not going to change. VATS won't magically get slow motion. Rotting corpses with holotapes in their pockets won't suddenly spring to life and start talking to me. I may come to appreciate more aspects of co-op or competitive play, but so far Fallout 76 is very much everything I feared. I do want to play at least a little more because this almost feels like a real Fallout game, but I don't think I will ever stop wishing that this was a true sequel instead of some bizarre experiment which goes way outside the bounds of why most players liked the series in the first place.
Yeah, I think that with that game, since I've played Fallout 4, the thing that the thing that I like about it is that it is single player. It would be cool if you could bring your friend in and still have all the same stuff in the game, like VATS, the slow motion.
That would be weird too. Still,
It would be cool if you could have a friend help you, and you're both like picking up gear and helping each other level up and stuff. But I think that the way that they're trying to do it is strange. If you take VATS out of it, the gameplay is really wonky, and firing guns is really strange. It doesn't feel real. It almost feels like a dream where you have like less control over the gun than you feel like you really would even in real life. So it feels wonky and like choppy. So I can understand why this person thinks their opinion of this. I definitely was not expecting it to be like this person explains it, and I think they do a pretty good job of explaining it in this article, their opinion at least.
yeah, I think this is pretty much what I expected from an online game. Of course, you lose VATS.
Yeah.
Like, even with just 2 players, you can't slow down time. And I've played other games where you lose stuff like that from going multiplayer, but
It's kind of a problem with these multiplayer games. It's just if you make it too easy, some people are just going to auto aim and kill everybody really fast. I agree with this person. I don't really feel like this game should be thrust into this sort of mode of play style.
I'm kind of thinking I'm not interested in buying the game anymore.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'll wait and see what.
I know.
I don't really care for multiplayer games.
They could have honestly made, like he's sort of saying in his opinion, in my opinion, they could have made a game in the same setting with a few different kind of creatures and stuff, left it single player, so you can kind of just go zone out in a game that's single player.
That's just another game, though.
Right.
That's just Fallout. What is it?
But
6?
you know, that's the thing. People would have probably buy it.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have made that online money.
Probably not.
And the guy wrote some things that are good and bad. Photo mode, photos as loading screens. Fun mutations from RADs, possibly the new perk card system, but I need more time with it. Things that are bad, hunger and thirst survival mechanics that feel like pointless busy work. Oh, yes. Hunger.
Yeah.
You gotta eat.
That is, yeah.
Enemies that respawn really fast since this is a world populated by other players. Difficulty that already feels geared toward groups over solo play. More thoughts to come.
I kind of imagine this game turning into The Division, and in The Division, if you go, there's this part of the map called the Dark Zone, and if you go in there and you have this large group of people, you basically run the whole thing. So I understand it. This is one of these maps where you get like 15 people that are all, in this mob. They're going to take over the map, and it won't be any fun for anyone.
Yes, unless you're part of the mob.
Unless you're part of the mob, then it's probably really fun.
Yeah, just wrecking everybody.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you have anything else you want to say? I just want to say, this article really did kind of make me not want to play the game. Like, it's reminding me of like, oh yeah, multiplayer games. Ugh. I don't really care to get stuck in a game that can't end. When
Right.
you can't finish a game, you're trapped.
Exactly. No money back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, probably not gonna play it. I mean, maybe I will, but But yeah, that's it for the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Let us know in the comments, and check out our Patreon link in the description if you want to help us, because that would be awesome. Thanks for watching.